Hi, everybody. We are live right now on WhistleOut. Today, we are going to be doing a budget phone 5G bracket. I have two guests on today's show. We have Galen from Galen's Gadgets, and we got Technoid. So let me kind of go over what we're going to do first, and I'll introduce these guys and bring them on, and we can get to know them a little bit more. I've had Technoid on before. This is Galen's first time, so we'll be able to just like introduce them and get to them a little bit more. So today, what's going to happen is we are going to be going over some budget 5G phones and doing a bracket. Normally, I have a like a straw poll link, but I did not have enough time to put the straw polls together. So we're just going to look at the comments, us three judges, and we're going to see who, which one has the most comments and put that one in the winner's bracket. I see that Sneed is live right now as well, so I guess we'll have some competition for viewers from Sneed, but that's okay. It'll be a fun podcast or a fun stream podcast no matter what. So I'm also not in my normal space. I am visiting my family in Utah, so I have a little bit of a different background than I normally would. And if you hear a dog or two barking in the back, then that's why that is. So without further delay, let's introduce some of my guests, the two amazing guests on today's live stream, and then we'll get into the bracket. So first up, I'm bringing on Technoid. Say hello. What's up?
What's going on, you beautiful, gentle-looking people of the internet? It is your boy, Michael, here from Technoid. Welcome back, everybody. It's good to see you all.
So much energy. I love it.
That's the one thing everybody says about me. It doesn't matter where I'm at. It doesn't matter what time it is. Hell, it doesn't even matter what time zone I'm in. I'm always bringing the energy. Let's do it.
It's perfect. I'm super stoked about it. So give the people a little bit of an overview of who you are, what you do, a little bit of a spiel.
Sure. Absolutely. Well, for starters, this is actually my first time in a long time that I've actually been a guest on somebody else's show. I won't lie to you. I'm normally the one always inviting people onto my show, so it kind of feels kind of nice once in a while to branch away from the channel. But short, simple, I am just a tech show host. I run a show called Technoid. I talk about the latest rumors and leaks without the BS you don't want to hear. And I like to have a little bit of fun on the offside. I like to do, you know what? We're not going to go that far. I just like to do some things. So just check it out if you're interested.
Perfect. Love it. Okay, and next we're bringing on Galen from Galen's Gadgets. He hit me up on Twitter and was like, hey, I know budget phones. Bring me on. I was like, hell yeah, let's go. So here's Galen.
What's up, everybody?
Tell us a little bit about you, your channel, and what you do.
Okay, so my name is Galen, as you can see. I have a channel that pretty much specializes in budget technology, so it was a perfect fit. I saw it, so I hit up Sherry on Twitter, and she let me come on, so I really appreciate it, Sherry.
Of course, no problem. The thing is why I like you guys, we all have a little bit of a different specialties here. I know carrier stuff really well. I feel like Galen, you're gonna know like the budget stuff really well, and Technoid, you bring some pizzazz, some spice, and a lot of information too. So I think it's gonna be a fun little show we have today.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good group.
Probably the casual of the whole entire panel here. I'm probably that one tech guy that's just not a tech guy. I'm just like that one guy that comes in and is like, where does he fit in all this?
You're our color commentator, but no, your YouTube channel is Technoid. You're a tech guy, so you're welcome here by more than just your colorfulness. So we're happy. If you guys want a shout out or you just want your comment or anything highlighted, be sure to comment, and we will definitely bring you on your comment onto the stream, and we'd love to have some interaction. So without delay now, we're gonna hop into the bracket, and I am on vacation, and this was thrown together a little bit last second. So it's not as cute as we normally see it, but that's okay. The phones we're going to go over today are I only picked 7 because my brain was like not in the right spot. So we're going to have to do like a 3 vote at some point, but it's fine. We're going to go over the iPhone 12 mini, Pixel 4a 5G, Pixel 5, the Moto Stylus 5G, Moto 1 5G, the OnePlus 8. And then I also saw today a bunch of news on the Nord N200 5G on T-Mobile. I kind of threw that in there. I didn't tell you guys about that one, but I just threw that in there last second because I was like, hey, it's new. It's going to be a new offering on the 25th of June for T-Mobile customers, Metro customers. So I thought it would be a cool one to go over. Awesome. Okay, so let's start with the first round, which is going to be the Nord N200 versus the OnePlus 8. These are both OnePlus phones. So let me pull up my bracket. Like I said, it's not cute at all, but it's gonna get the job done. So let's share my screen here, and you can see all my freaking tabs open up here. That's okay. So these are the phones we're looking at, you guys, right here. The OnePlus 8 and the Nord N200. So first of all, what I look for in a cell phone, a budget cell phone, I was telling these guys earlier off stream that the one thing I'm really looking for right now with budget 5G phones is connectivity, because it says 5G, but it might not connect to the 5G that you're hoping to connect to. So that's what I'll be exploring lots of today when we go over these phones. What are some things that are most important to you guys when looking at 5G phones? Technoid, you want to go first?
I'm gonna let the man. I'm gonna let the man go below me to have the floor. I'm gonna let him.
Okay, yeah, when I look at phones, when I'm like searching for a phone personally, 4G or 5G, I'm looking for like the best bang for my buck. That's what I try to highlight on my channel as well. Like, everything doesn't like have to be the cheapest, but it can still, like, as long as it holds like very good value, I'm probably gonna pick it up. That's what I like. I just like to see just competitive prices, just something that definitely should be more expensive than what it really is. That's what I look for, just like in terms of everything, just really the specs, like the processor, the cameras, all of that. I take all of that into consideration when I'm looking to pick up a device for myself personally, or something I want to pick up for my channel.
Yeah, I love that.
For me, I'm gonna be completely honest with both of you and everybody that watches me. I'm not a budget guy. I believe this is just my philosophy. I believe if you can afford the best, don't sell yourself short. Get what you can afford. But with that said, though, when I never rule out budget either. I never rule it out. I never say that's a last resort. I do say that that's also an option. And for me, if I'm looking at budget, first things first is reliability. I'm looking at the brand. I'm looking at who's making the product. Who is manufacturing in terms of what you get for what you receive. The second thing that I look for is software. Whether it be Android or iOS, it doesn't matter. I really just go with which one will fit my needs throughout the day. And number three, the most important thing is features. Now, I understand budgets usually have their cutbacks, but sometimes they offer something that not a lot of manufacturers are offering with their flagships, headphone jack. Right. But the point is, there are some perks by going the other end of the spectrum. So that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Yeah, totally. Okay, perfect. So we're kind of all bringing something a little different to our opinions here, which I'm stoked on. So let's get to it. Let's get to the first round of phones. Now, this first round is going to take a little bit longer just because we're going to go over like more in depth about all of these phones than the last two rounds when we find like the ultimate winner. Those will go a little bit faster just so people watching have an idea of what the flow is going to be like. So since there's not really any tech specs up yet for the new OnePlus Nord N200, I'm just going to pull up some press releases so we can just kind of get a feel for it. So here's this guide or article by CNET. So this is the N200 OnePlus phone for T-Mobile specifically and Metro customers when it comes out. They say it's going to be 5G capable. It's not going to be high band 5G, which is, there's the three levels of 5G, right? We have low, mid band, and high band. Low band's equal to like fast LTE. Mid-band 5G is going to be really successful. There's just not a lot of it. And then high-band 5G is like those ultra-fast speeds that don't travel very far. So we're looking at low-band 5G here, which is equal to fast LTE speeds, right? But the cool thing about this phone is it's going to be one of the cheapest 5G phones when it's released next week for only $240. And I think that might be the cheapest 5G phone available when it comes out. I don't know if there's any cheaper than $240. So that's what this phone has going for it. as well as, if you're a T-Mobile stan, if you're a super fan of T-Mobile, then it will be exclusively available to T-Mobile customers. So any thoughts or opinions on this phone right now, you guys?
I just found the specs online actually. I think just the $240, that's a pretty good price point for what's offered. It's definitely like average in terms of price for what I've seen so far. It looks like it has a Snapdragon 485G, which is not the best processor in the world, but it has like other selling points, like it has a 90 hertz refresh rate and things. So
Yeah.
it's pretty good for the price, I think, so far.
I like that it's a very good introductory level kind of phone. And I say that not to disrespect it, because I do think it's got some good value. The 90 hertz refresh rate, the gigabytes of RAM is pretty considerable. But when I'm looking at this phone, I look at it as an introductory for the price for somebody just getting into 5G, or better yet, something that helps them start to where they get to, as they learn a little more and also as technology advances. Because, and maybe it's just me, but I feel like this phone is probably, in my opinion, is probably not going to be as supported in terms of software updates because of that 485G. But I do like the price. I think for $240, that's a very, very appealing price.
Yeah.
And I got no problem with it.
Yeah. Another cool aspects, it's 6.5 inches for the screen, which is pretty decently sized phone. And then also it has a 13 or a 16 megapixel selfie camera, which we all love our selfies. So if you're a camera person, then this is a good thing. A 5,000 mega amps battery, which is awesome. So some pretty good things going for it. So then I compared this one in the bracket with the OnePlus 8, and the price points here are fairly different. So this one's like $240, like we said, and then the OnePlus 8 is $450 right now. So here's the OnePlus 8. The thing with the OnePlus 8 is, let me check my little cheat sheet real quick about the connectivity for these phones. The OnePlus 8 is 5G capable, but it's only capable for the ultra wideband on Verizon. So if you get it on Verizon, the phone goes up to $800 and you get ultra wideband connectivity. But if you get it with AT&T or T-Mobile, you're just going to get the basic connection like you would with the other phone. So similar connectivity here, which is kind of important. If you want to pay an extra $200, you can get ultra wideband, which I don't think is that important yet. So in my opinion, if you did get the OnePlus 8, don't get it from Verizon. Don't pay the extra $200. That's an $800 phone for only ultra wideband. And then you don't even get the any mid-band connectivity in the future when that comes online. So that's kind of my opinion for that one. But let me pull back up the picture here and we can kind of go over your guys' opinions of this phone as well. So let's start with Galen. Do you have any thoughts on the OnePlus 8?
Well, in terms of like build quality and everything, this was like one of OnePlus's flagships and quotations. So the build quality and everything is miles ahead. And you could probably get it like a lot cheaper, like used or from a third party seller. So I always take that into consideration when like trying to figure out value. So it's a pretty solid price for $450 for all of that. A Snapdragon 865. Pretty big camera. It's a pretty good deal in my opinion, especially at that price.
Yeah, definitely. And it comes in a bunch of different colors, which is nice as well. Who doesn't love some color options? But yeah, overall, I think this is a better quite a bit better phone than the N200 that T-Mobile is going to offer. So I don't know. What's your opinion, Technoid?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. When this phone first came out, I fell asleep through its release. I honestly didn't pay any mind to it. I was just like, yawn, let's get to the next one. But now that I look back at it, at least, a little bit of time has passed and I've come around, and I gotta say, it's not as bad as I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, it is going to be a little bit behind in terms of the processing power, and for the most part, it is a OnePlus device, so you do know what you're getting with it. You're getting fast charging, you're getting nice build quality, triple camera setup, you're getting 90 hertz refresh, which is supposed to be an HDR10 plus display, I believe it is. But overall, the phone itself, I gotta say,
Yeah.
it's a premium package for
Yeah.
400 and what was it? I think 450.
Yeah, for about 450. Yeah, depending on
Okay,
where you
so
got it. But yeah.
for me, honestly, if you could ignore the mid-band exclusion, if you could kind of get past that, if you're not a cellular techie kind of guy, I think you could kind of slide with this device a little bit.
Totally.
But there is one drawback. And the only drawback with this device is what was released with it. Its brother phone, the Pro.
Mm-hmm.
They spent more time focusing on the Pro that this phone kind of got lost in transition. So
Sure.
some people kind of even forget there's a OnePlus 8.
Right.
And I think
Yeah, that's true.
I think that one includes mid-band.
You know what? I think I didn't include it on here because the price is just a little bit higher than the 8, and it's not totally considered budget, and so that's why I didn't include it on here. But yeah, you're right. It did kind of get lost in the shadows of the Pro, kind of like how the iPhone 12 gets lost to the Pro or whatever it might be. So
Honestly, it's actually the Mini that gets lost. The 12 is the most popular model right now from what I'm seeing because more people are trading in their iPhone 10s and iPhone 8s for the 12. I think there's something appealing. I've never seen a person use a Mini, but hey, if you got small hands, it works perfectly for you.
That's so funny. There's a few other aspects of 5G phones that I want to point out, or newer phones. Wi-Fi 6. So if you don't know much about Wi-Fi 6 yet, it's the newest form of Wi-Fi. I have a video on it on my channel if you want to check out about the different forms of Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi 6E is going to be the newest form of Wi-Fi coming out. It's already released, but not many devices connect to it anyways. So this 8 is Wi-Fi 6 capable, which is awesome. It's the fastest form of widely available Wi-Fi at the moment. And then also Smart 5G, it comes standard on most phones with 5G where it transitions to the fastest network. So those are other things to keep in mind when looking at like a 5G phone, is the other perks and the other software updates that come with it. So, okay, guys, everyone in the comments, it's a small stream today, but let us know, type what you think what is best. Are you going to vote for the N200 at 240, or are you going to vote for the OnePlus 8 at 450 for the best budget phone here? I think I am going to go with the OnePlus 8. That's going to be my vote for this bracket. We'll see what everyone in the comments says, but what do you guys have to say? Which one would you vote for the better phone of these two?
Definitely the 8.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Is this even a trick question? Of
I
course,
know.
the 8.
I know. I put these against each other because they were the same brand. I was like, why not just get these brand matches out of the way? But I figured there might be some people like Albert who vote for the N200. But Albert, I'm sorry. We're Kingston Culpepper and us are all on the same page. Albert, you're on a different planet. The OnePlus 8 is definitely the winner here. That's my
sure.
Look at this. She's already got the winners made up. There's a conspiracy theory here.
No, I'll show you what the cheat sheet is, you guys. Come on. I don't need any more conspiracy nonsense in my channel. Last time someone thought there was a conspiracy theory on my channel, I got a death threat. So we don't want to go there, okay?
They really be doing that stuff? Come on now. Talk about maturity.
I know. Okay, so the next round, that will get us to the semifinals. We're putting the Google Pixels against each other. I have a feeling I know it's a really close matchup. I have a feeling it's going to be close, but I also know which phone I think is going to win here. So we have the Google Pixel 4a versus the Google Pixel 5. Oh, the 4a 5G versus the Google Pixel 5. Okay, so let's start with the 4a 5G. And we'll go from there. So let me scroll back up to the top here. I'll take this off so I don't make us all dizzy. But the price points here are the Pixel 4a 5G is 500-ish, and then the Pixel 5 is about 700. So a few $100 difference, but there's lots of reasons for that. So let's start with the 4a and talk about the specs of that. 1 second. I need to double check my connectivity here. Okay, we're good. Okay, so as far as connectivity is concerned, the 4a 5G has stellar connectivity. and when I'm talking connectivity, I'm talking about 5G bands. It can connect to ultra wideband, so or any N260, N261, which is like the super fast speeds, and then it also has some C-band connectivity, which is mid-band, basically what the majority of 5G is going to be in the next year. And not lots of phones have C-band connectivity. And then it also has the rest of the low-band 5G connectivity. So overall, when it comes to connecting to like 5G, Pixel 4a has some really good options here. And then the price point, again, $400-$500. Awesome perks here with this phone. So Galen, what are your opinions on this phone?
So I actually have the 4A 5G right here.
Oh,
That's the phone I use every day. It's like by far the most reliable phone I've ever had. I think that's what Google like really specializes in, just really consistent software and everything. I actually was like in that at that crossroads between the 4A and the 4A 5G and the Pixel 5, and I chose the 4A 5G just because just the few things that they really upgrade. I'm pretty sure like all the connections and everything are the same between the 4A and the 4A 5G and the 5. But really the only real difference was just like the build quality. It's made of like a more glass material, the Pixel 5, and it has wireless charging and a faster refresh rate, and none of that really matters to me. Like with that decision anyway, the cameras are the exact same. That's what matters to me. So yeah, I just think the Pixel 4a 5G is just a lot better value. I don't think $200 is. I don't think the Pixel 5 is really like $200 more in terms of value.
Totally. Technoid.
Well, I used the 4A, the standard 4A, when it came out before the 5G model, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I truly enjoyed my experience with the 4A, and I had said that if they add 5G into this phone, it will probably be a contender for my next phone. Now, I did go back to iPhone, unfortunately. But I will say, I use the 4A. I haven't used the 4A 5G, but I'm assuming the experience is probably just about the same. The only difference is that there is 5G, probably a little bit better cameras. But I gotta be honest, I really would pick the 4A 5G over 5 because of two things. Well, okay, fine, three things. Number one is headphone jack. I'm just going to say it out there. Number two, it kind of gives you the Pixel experience in a nice price package. You're going to get the same amount of software support as the 5. You get the same amount of features. You get the same experience, really, is what it comes down to. But the most important reason for me why I would pick the 4A 5G is because it uses the most two important 5Gs out there, sub-6 and mid-band, C-band. So, I mean, millimeter wave, sure, it's cool. I'm a Verizon customer. I do appreciate ultra-wideband, but it's not around yet. It's not, it's not fully expanded. It's nowhere near Staten Island, that's for sure. It's only by the ferry. So I'm not going all the way out there just to try to get 3 gigabytes worth of it. I'm not doing that.
Right.
So I would take the 4A 5G, and thank goodness I understand about C-band and all that stuff. Sneed Tech did like the 2-hour lecture with me. Talk about Professor Sneed right there. So now I'm no longer a pawn in this game anymore.
So I want to clarify some things here with the 4A 5G. So I'm bringing up the tech specs. This is the 4A 5G. If we look at the different models, right? So we know that there are multiple models of the same phone. Generally, the different model types are for the different carriers. So this is on Google's site. We got model Go25E, whatever. There's no millimeter wave. But if we go to model G6, there is millimeter wave connectivity down here. So I think that might be if you buy it straight from Verizon, I think it might be built in, right? But it's going to be a more expensive phone. The other thing I wanted to point out was N78. Band 78, that's a C-band band.
Yep.
It's not 77 and 79, but it has those capabilities, right? But that's not on the Verizon one. That's on just a normal one. So
77 and 79, those are like the most two important ones you'd want for, higher performance.
Sure. Yeah. But to have 78, that's still a plus.
True. It is a plus.
let's go over the Pixel 5 now. I want to drop some knowledge on you guys. Unless you already know it, then I'll feel silly. But the most important and interesting thing to me about the Pixel 5 is that there are 2 phones right now that have gotten FCC clearance to have software upgrades to be fully C-band capable. The Pixel 5 is one of them. So when C-band is more widely available, the Pixel 5 is going to get a software upgrade, and it's going to be fully C-band capable. And I imagine it will also have the millimeter wave capabilities as well. Actually, I think it does. I triple check that. So that's the cool thing about the Pixel 5. The other phone that I was going to go over, but it's not budget, is the LG Wing. The LG Wing also has gotten approval to have a software upgrade for full C-band capability by the end of the year. So I don't know if LG will be like keeping up with their phone department now that it's kind of like dissolved. I don't think they're going to be pushing updates, but if they do, the Wing will be one of them. Anyways, so let's go over the Pixel 5. Again, a little bit more expensive, but basically fairly similar. But the major win here for me is just that C-band capability at the end of the year, that upgrade. That's like priceless. That's pretty impressive. But Galen, you had some great points about why you chose the 4A 5G over the 5, which I really appreciated. So what are some differences in the 5 that made you maybe think twice, that you're like, oh, maybe the 5 could be good?
Well, just the overall build quality. It's just like more premium materials than the plastic on my 4A 5G, and then a higher refresh rate screen, which is gonna look pretty good on Google software, but yeah, it still looks good on my phone, so it really wasn't like wasn't enough to make me upgrade. And then that's pretty much it, because the cameras and all the internals are pretty much the same.
Awesome, cool. And then I think we've all kind of had our opinions heard here. And I'm looking over into the comments. Albert has a good point. Pixel 5 user here, I would vote for a 5G when it comes to budget. The battery is slightly smaller, but with the 60 megahertz refresh rate versus 90, you get more life. 90 is a bonus, but not needed on a budget. I think that's a great point. So, what are you guys going to vote for the best 5G phone here between the 5 and the 4A 5G?
For budget, I'm going to go 4A 5G.
I'm going to go 4A 5G as well.
Perfect. Let's get this up here. I think I was gonna go for the 5, but I think I've been outvoted here, especially with some of the comments already. So let's pull up our little bracket, and we're gonna put the 4A 5G up here, and the 4A 5G is now in the semifinals. But the OnePlus 8. Okay, the next one we're going over is what did I do here? I think I meant to go like this. Let's do this. There we go. This sounds much better. So this is going to be the Moto Stylus 5G. I think that's the name. And then the Moto 1 5G. So we got 2 Motorola phones going head to head against each other right here. So let me pull those up real quick. And I just want to say we'll start with the Moto Stylus 5G. Let me get that up here. There we go. Moto Stylus 5G, $400, so decent for a budget phone. The other thing with the Moto Stylus 5G is it does come with band 77 and band 78. So we've got some 5G connectivity. No ultra high band, ultra wide band, no high band 5G though. So minimal 5G connectivity, but it is there. So that's what I like to hear. Overall, a pretty cool phone. It does come with a stylus. If you're a stylus person, I've never been a stylus person, but maybe some people out there are. And $400, so pretty awesome. Galen, give us your opinion here.
Okay, so I had like the original Moto G Stylus 5G. I mean, just the original Moto G Stylus, the 2021 version of it that didn't have 5G. That came out like earlier in the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. That's too high. That's too high of a price for what it is. They're really charging for the stylus right now. It looks like. I took the stylus out of my phone a whopping 2 times to unbox it and to do my last review on it. That's about it. Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it's not worth $400. especially with like a newer like 480G process. I mean, a 485G processor. It's
Yeah.
definitely not worth it.
Yeah. Okay.
I might actually be on the opposite side because I don't think you're wrong, Galen, for what you just said,
Hmm.
but I disagree. And I disagree because of two things: quality's perspective from a quality's control, and also the package. Now, yes, I think the stylus is a gimmick. I think that them marketing it as part of the phone shouldn't have been in the title. I feel like that should have just been more of a convenience factor. That should have just been, yeah, we included kind of, not put
Hmm.
in. But for me, I do appreciate that the Moto Stylus 5G, that's literally what I've called it for the longest time because that's the name. I think that it does offer you just a slightly better experience on a Moto phone, at least that I've used. I've had a chance to check it. I've had a chance. I'm sorry, to check this phone out, and for the most part, it's a nice experience. And I do appreciate the higher, bigger sensor in the back, and I do for some reason. Maybe it's just me, but I prefer the display on this device versus the one you're about to compare next. So I'm going with. Well, I'm not going. I still got to think this one through because this is actually pretty tough. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a tough one for me. But that's where I stand on the Stylus 5G.
Yeah, for sure. So that phone that we just looked at, the Stylus 5G, was $400. We're gonna now look at the Motorola One. Yeah, Motorola One 5G, no stylus, a little bit of a similar phone, slightly different. So let's pull it up right here. What I will say here about the One 5G is that it's a little bit cheaper. So we're looking at budget phones. That's pretty
Hmm.
awesome. When we're looking at connectivity, it doesn't have the connectivity I'd like to see. It doesn't have the same connectivity as the stylus. So that's a downside for me. However, if you get it on Verizon, then you do get ultra wideband, but that boosts the price up $200 from like 300 to 550, which is just like stupid for the phone. Like you can get a much
Right.
better phone for 550 than this phone. So in that regard, I like the stylus a little bit better just because it has a little bit better connectivity. But let's check it out. It's available with all carriers, so any carrier it's good for. But overall, a decent phone. And when it comes to budget, it's a great budget phone. But Galen, what's your thoughts here?
I would take this over the Motorola Stylus just because of the processor. This has a 750G, and
Mm,
the processor on the Stylus is only a 480. So the
mm,
750G is something I've used before, and I know it's like a really reliable processor. So I would
mm.
still pick the Motorola just over this because it's definitely uh, the Motorola One because it's future proof and everything, really.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I like that. That's a great point.
Yeah, that's why I'm split. That's why it's hard for me to pick a winner on this one because yeah, I may not have enjoyed this phone, but I cannot deny that it is definitely future proof when it comes to the processor. And I think it's this. Is it 750 or 765G? Because I thought it said 765G.
765.
Oh, okay. So
Oh, really?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's clearly future
Oh,
proof.
yeah. Then it's definitely
Yeah.
Yes.
it's not a contest in processing power.
Yeah, Qualcomm Snapdragon 765.
Yeah.
So a bit better here, a bit better. And it's $100 cheaper. So
True.
there's
Yeah.
that.
True.
So yeah, I definitely think that's like a better deal, honestly.
There's that. Yeah. Okay, so I think we have a winner here. Motorola One versus the the Motorola Stylus. I think we've all, unanimously think that the Motorola One 5G beats out the Stylus one. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I gotta give it to it. I can't argue with that processor. There's no way I could give the Stylus 5G a win when it has the 765 in it. The one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It looks like I saw Albert asked about the RAM. It looks like there are multiple forms of the Motorola One. It has a 4 and 6 gig RAM,
Okay, it's
and
pretty
Okay.
then
good.
the Stylus just comes in 6 gigs of RAM.
I
Okay.
So
see.
Interesting.
yeah, it's pretty similar.
Yeah, very similar. Not any crazy differences there. Thanks for asking, Albert. I also want to say hi to Dan. Dan is a friend on Twitter, and hello, Dan. Thanks for
Good
watching.
man. Good to see you, Dan.
Yeah, he's around. Okay, so this is where my brain messed up, but we have the iPhone 12 mini against nothing here. So let's go over the iPhone 12 mini though, because it's still a pretty impressive phone. If you can handle the small size of it. So the iPhone 12 mini, obviously the newest in the newest lineup of iPhones. It is future-proof. It is fully C-band capable. It has all of the bells and whistles when it comes to connectivity, which is why this is one of my favorite phones on the list, honestly. Although it is kind of expensive when we're talking budget phones. It's one of the cheapest phones available that has everything you could want for a future 5G phone. Technoid, you mentioned that you haven't seen many iPhone minis and that it has kind of fallen under the radar. I would agree with you there. I know about one person who has the iPhone 12 mini. So it doesn't seem like it's a very popular phone, but I think it's underrated. I think that there is more to this phone than people realize, and I love it. But I'm also an iPhone fanatic, so you can't convince me.
We all are. We all are deep down inside of us. We're all iPhone fanatics. But I gotta say though, I don't think it's underrated. I don't think it is because of two things. First of all, a phone that small should not have a notch that big. That's one. And number two, you're putting in millimeter wave, 5G. That's going to take a huge chunk of your battery. Wouldn't you think maybe in some area of the universe to maybe up the battery quality on the mini, or at least try to squeeze out just a little bit more? Because okay, I'm not going to say it's a bad device. It's far away from a bad device. But do I think it's a usable device? Potentially, if you can turn off your 5G settings, then yes, it's a usable device. But I will tell you, I've seen the reports. I've seen people say that their mini does not make it through the day. They got to charge it at least twice. One time on fast charge, and then when they go home, because the battery life is just not up to par when it's using 5G. That's why people have been saying that, you got to turn off your 5G settings to kind of milk out the battery life a little bit more. But with that said, though, I do understand why you'd think it's underrated, because it does give you a nice form factor. I got nothing against a small phone. I respect small phones. I do like that it gives you ultra wide and wide angle lenses at that small form factor. It's got an OLED display, all 5G, no, cutbacks, nothing. So I can understand where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm. In my view, this is one of the most future-proof phones on the list. And so that's why I'm a huge fan of it. But, I have not heard of the multiple charging in one day scenarios. So that's a huge downside to this phone for sure. Galen, do you have any opinions on that?
That's what I've heard the most out of that phone as well. The battery, it sucks on it pretty much. I do like how they were able to put in a lot of features from their main flagships and everything and put it in a smaller form factor, because we haven't seen that in years in smartphones. So I really like the concept of the mini, but just that battery life, I couldn't deal with it, I don't think.
That's so funny. I came in here thinking that the iPhone 12 mini was gonna win out, but that's just because I think my love for Apple just blinded me through this. So
how much is the regular 12 right now? How much is that going for? Did they lower the price? Because I know they're running a promotion with some of the carriers. If you go to T-Mobile and others, I don't know if they dropped the price, but
I think it's still the same price as what it was in the beginning. I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it that quickly. But if you do a trade-in or anything, it's still gonna be cheaper. But I think it's still at the $1,000 mark for the iPhone 12. And then if you get the 12 Pro, I think it's $999.
No, it's not. The iPhone 12, they're saying is $829. So it's right around, because I'm seeing it put numbers from Apple and AT&T, Verizon, Target. So I saw $829.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you could 100% be correct there. I didn't think it would have lowered the price this soon after a release. So
I think, what it is? You know why I think the price did go down? Because of two things. So if you remember, the iPhone 12 models that are sold through the carriers are $799. If you buy it unlocked from Apple, you got to pay a little extra. So Apple charges you extra, but if you buy through one of the four carriers, you can get it for $799 Or if you just buy it through Apple, it's $899, so $100 more. But I think they're running a promotion right now for $829. So you could probably find it around the $800 mark.
Sure. Okay, that makes sense. Cool. Okay, so let's move on to the semifinals. We have 4 phones to go over. We've got the OnePlus 8 versus the Pixel 4a 5G. And then the second one will be the Motorola One 5G versus the iPhone 12 mini. So let's go back up to the top here. We're going over the OnePlus 8 over the 4a 5G. What are our thoughts here? Galen, of these two, which would you choose? We've kind of gone over lots of these details already. So give us a 30-second review.
I would go Pixel for sure. The camera is obviously light years ahead, more software support, longer software support, and you said 5G connectivity is going to be more future-proof. So definitely the Pixel.
Yeah, I am inclined to agree with you there. The Pixel 4a has definitely a better connectivity than the OnePlus 8 as far as 5G is concerned. The OnePlus 8, you only get 5G connectivity if you buy it from Verizon, which ups the price tag. So of these two, I'm also going to go with the 4a. Technoid, do you have a vote on this?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 4a 5G as well. I was going to say the OnePlus 8 at first, but then I thought about it in my head as you guys were talking. And I said to myself, OnePlus used to be the iPhone of Androids because people used to crave about the software support on that phone. They used to say Oxygen OS was similar to stock Android and whatever. But once Google came out with the A series, it's game over. So I'm rolling with Google.
Google is really shown themselves to be a real player in the phone game with these more recent Pixel devices. I'm really stoked to see what they come out with next. But yeah, I would have to say the 4a 5G beats out the OnePlus 8 any day of the week. Okay, the next vote we have for the semifinals is the Motorola One 5G versus the iPhone 12 mini. Okay, so let's quickly go over these specs again, or I'm going to go over price points and connectivity, and then we can have a little discussion about which we're going to choose. So the iPhone 12 mini is fully future-proof, has all the connectivities, and then the Moto One 5G is definitely cheaper, definitely more budget, but it doesn't have the same range of connectivity. But like we showed before, the processor is awesome, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was able to be connected in the future if it got a software upgrade or something along those lines. So we're looking at $700 to $300 for $700 for the iPhone 12 mini, $300 for the base Moto One 5G. I think I'm inclined to say the 12 mini because I love it, but it's the most expensive phone on the list. And with the battery sucking, I think I probably have to go with the Moto One 5G. What do you guys have to say?
This is a tough one just because I know overall the iPhone is a better phone and everything is set for battery life pretty much. But the price, I don't think I think they should have placed the price the same price point of the SE or something like that, closer to 400. Yeah, I don't like the pricing of the mini, so that's why I'd have to go the Motorola.
Yeah, I would have to.
I was hoping there would be an iPhone in the finalists, but I can't shake off that battery problems. And I got to agree, the price is just a little too high for a mini. Thankfully, though, Apple is going to redeem themselves because apparently they're working on an SE follow-up with 5G. So maybe we'll see that on the list next time. But yeah, I got to roll with Motorola.
Yeah, once an iPhone SE comes out that's cheaper and 5G capable, that's going to be a game. That's going to be awesome. Then Apple will.
That's something I'll pick up.
Yeah. Then Apple will really be in the budget 5G game. But I agree with you guys. I think for the winner here, we have to choose the Motorola One 5G. Let me see if I can copy this over. There we go. So in the this is not what I wanted. There we go. In the finals, let me make the screen smaller. There we go. This is our finals. We got the Google Pixel 4a 5G to the Motorola One 5G. Motorola One is about $300, and the Pixel 4a 5G is I cannot remember how much it is.
500, I think.
Yeah, 500. So we've got 300 to 500. I have an overall winner in my heart right now that I would love to say that I think the 4A 5G is probably the better of the two. Just because I think Google has really stepped up their game. The 4A 5G has better connectivity, and I think it's worth an extra $200 to have that kind of connectivity in a phone, especially from Google over Motorola. But what say you guys?
We're all shaking our heads. I think we've already made up our minds before you even had to say.
It's really, yeah. Like I want it to be a competition, but it's really not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not.
Like
It really is.
Motorola is really bad with updating their phones first of all, and then like with Google, you know you're gonna be the first one to get Android updates, and then just the overall 5G package and just the cameras are light years ahead. It's not close.
It's not close. That is a great wrap up here. But yeah, I think I was hoping that a Pixel would win or the iPhone. So a Pixel winning still warms my heart. I think the 4A 5G is a great option for a budget 5G phone. So if anybody out there is looking to upgrade their phone or to find a budget 5G phone, don't want to spend too much money, $500 for a really solid device is not a bad deal.
Yeah, and Amazon has it on sale a lot for 50 off, like a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have it a lot.
And I'll tell you guys this much. If you love headphones, that headphone jack is going to feel like a breeze in the park. Now you'll really get lossless audio.
Oh, it's so funny. That's the real winner here is the headphone jack. We should have been talking about that the whole time.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I don't know. I'm sorry. Look, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Ever since Apple introduced lossless audio, my love for headphone jack and like wired headphones have come back. Look at this. I'm back on wired. I'm not even using, wireless. I usually wear my my AirPod Max. I'm not using those tonight. I'm using Soundcore headphones, but I'm wired them. So I've fallen back in love with a headphone jack. I'd love to see an iPhone with a headphone jack, but it's never going to happen.
It's not. It's done. It's done for. Okay, you guys. Well, we had a smaller stream today. Not as big as I was hoping. I've been like hitting like over a 100 like pretty regularly, but I think I was competing with Sneed today. Freaking
You're not
Sneed.
gonna win. You're not gonna win.
I'm not. But we had a really good stream today. Thanks for everybody who hopped on and participated, and thank Galen and Technoid for being a part of it. I had a really great time.
Yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, 100%. My goal is to have people on every stream I have from here on out, because although I love hearing myself talk, it's I get a dry voice, I get a dry throat, so I need someone else to come on. So you guys will definitely be on again later if you want. But if everyone's watching right now, all 11 of you, be sure to follow these two guys on their channels, Galen's Gadgets and Technoid. That's their names on their YouTube channels, and follow them on Twitter, everywhere. So give them some support. We all would love that. So thanks again for watching, everybody, and we'll see you later.